Greetings at Cheating Story Lab. Share your location and experiences if you've ever had a child inadvertently disclose something significant that forever altered your life. It said children are like sponges. They soak up everything around them even when we believe they aren't listening. I didn't realize my 8-year-old daughter, Lily, had been assimilating the sounds of her mother's deceptions for months until a concerned teacher at Meadowbrook Elementary coaxed the truth from this sponge-like child. It was on a Tuesday in October when I received a call from Meadowbrook Elementary. Lily's teacher, Mrs. Patterson, requested a meeting. With Lily showing unusual behavior, recently distant at home and clingy with me but detached from her mother, Victoria, I assumed it was just a passing phase. I scheduled the meeting for the next day. Over the past 6 months, Victoria's book club meetings had grown more frequent, though in retrospect I understand it was merely a guise. Instead, she would often visit Mrs. Patterson's classroom, which carried an aroma of crayons and hand sanitizer. A seasoned educator in her 50s, Mrs. Patterson wore wire-rimmed glasses that framed her kind eyes. However, on the occasion I sat down before her petite desk, those kind eyes conveyed a pity I had never encountered. "Mr. Collins," she started, pulling out a manila folder, "I asked you here because Lily has been facing emotional difficulties." She continued, "During class, she's experienced episodes." Upon opening the folder, she displayed various pieces of paper which revealed children's drawings. I felt my heart drop as I recognized Lily's careful handwriting and her unique style of illustrating people with large eyes and miniature bodies. "These are from our family unit we did last month," Mrs. Patterson clarified. Children were requested to depict their families and describe what brings them joy at home. The initial sketch showcased our house, a straightforward rectangle with a pitched roof and a chimney. Instead of the common family portrait, there were merely 2 figures standing outside, a tall figure father and a smaller one daughter, both weeping. The father was holding the daughter's hand. "Me and Daddy" was written at the bottom in Lily's neat print. "We are sad because Mommy has a hidden friend." As Mrs. Patterson looked at the next drawing, my hands began to tremble. This sketch depicted an interior scene, a bedroom. A woman with long brown hair like Victoria's was lying in bed but not alone. There was another figure, undoubtedly male, but not me. I could discern this since Lily portrayed me wearing glasses and the figure had none. When asked to explain her drawings, Mrs. Patterson continued quietly. "At times, when father departs for work, my daughter mentioned that a friend of mother might visit her. She explained they would enter and shut the door to mother and father's room, although she could still hear them through the walls. The room seemed to spin as I gazed upon the unassuming crayon scribbles that now threatened to shatter my world. Mrs. Patterson whispered softly, showing me a third drawing, this one depicting our kitchen table where 3 figures sat, yet 1 chair remained vacant. This was her rendition of family dinners after I inquired about them. She explained that father would ask about mother's whereabouts, and mother would respond she was tired or unwell, but Lily observed mother texting on her phone with a smile. Speechless, I listened to this unfamiliar woman, barely acquainted with my family, disclose that my daughter had been witnessing the fragmentation of my marriage without my knowledge for months. Mrs. Patterson emphasized that Lily was not fabricating these events. She had silently carried this heavy burden for a prolonged period. Yesterday, during reading time, she experienced an emotional breakdown. She broke into tears, explaining she felt uneasy about returning home due to Mommy and her friend continuing their loud activities again. It was then that it dawned on me. On the night Victoria claimed exhaustion to avoid intimacy, there were the puzzling errands taking hours, the sudden focus on physical fitness leading to new wardrobe purchases, increased phone usage, all signs that didn't quite add up. "What can I do?" I whispered timidly, as Mrs. Patterson leaned closer. Given my role as a mandated reporter, if I suspected Lily was in danger, social services would have already been contacted. However, this appeared to be an issue affecting her emotional health as an adult. "I suggest discussing this within your family and considering family therapy," Mrs. Patterson advised. Grateful for her guidance, I took the drawings and left my car feeling bewildered. 20 minutes were spent in the school parking lot, scrutinizing my daughter's depictions of my wife's unfaithfulness. The journey home became indistinct. It was unusual for Victoria's car to be parked in the driveway on a Tuesday afternoon, as her book club usually ended later in the evening. Upon entering the house, I could hear laughter and an unfamiliar male voice upstairs. My 8-year-old daughter sat in the living room watching cartoons with headphones on, looking up at me with her discerning eyes. In a quiet whisper, she greeted me, "Hi, Daddy." Pulling off her headphones, she informed me, "Mommy's friend is here again." The casual tone in which she said it pierced my heart, as this had become routine for her. When asked about the name of her friend, she replied, "I don't know. Mommy told me not to talk to him. She said it would make you sad if you knew he was here." I gently kissed the top of her head. "You are not at fault, Lily. Absolutely nothing," I replied as I moved upstairs and activated my phone's recorder. The bedroom door was shut, but their voices were now audible. Victoria was giggling about something while the man spoke of her husband being away. Upon opening the door, I found Victoria hastily wrapping herself in a bedsheet. A younger man, presumably in his 20s, was attempting to dress himself. "Tom, this isn't," began Victoria. "No need," I interjected, still recording. "Lily has already discussed everything with her teacher using sketches. At the parent-teacher conference, it was revealed that our daughter had been illustrating your affair in art class. Her teacher was so alarmed by her emotional distress that they called me for a meeting." The man, now mostly dressed, attempted to approach the door. "Look, I should leave. You should have left long ago," I said. "Since you arrived, please smile for the camera, as this is headed to my attorney." Victoria started pleading with me to halt recording, appealing to our family ties amid her tears. However, my mind was occupied by Lily downstairs using headphones to drown out the chaos of her mother damaging our home. "Gather your belongings," I instructed her. "Both of you. Our daughter no longer needs to witness this." The divorce process advanced swiftly with the evidence in hand. Victoria argued the recordings were illicit, but my lawyer clarified that in our state, I was allowed to record within my own bedroom. Sketches from school were incorporated into the custody assessment. What truly solidified the outcome was when the court-appointed child psychologist interviewed Lily. Without prompting, she drew similar pictures as for her schoolwork: a distressed father and daughter, a clandestine friend in the mother's bed, an empty chair at dinner. Consequently, Victoria was granted supervised visits twice monthly. I secured primary custody and the house instead. In the wake of their legal union, her partner vanished. The most challenging aspect was explaining to Lily why Mommy no longer resided with us permanently. However, her therapist asserted that she appeared somewhat relieved that the hidden truth had been disclosed. Nightmares ceased to haunt her, and laughter returned. 6 months later, Lily produced a new school drawing depicting merely two figures, a tall man with spectacles and a small girl, both beaming. They were positioned in front of our house under a radiant sun. The bottom read, "This is me and Daddy being happy," accompanied by a note from her teacher. Lily has shown remarkable development this year. She's reclaimed her vibrant, joyful self. In some instances, the truth can liberate us. Victoria attempted to reach out to me a few times following the divorce proceedings, aiming to express remorse and request another opportunity. However, each glance at my daughter's drawings felt like viewing unspoken tales of the months she endured emotional turmoil, a silent testimony to our choices' impacts. I recognized that there was no conversation to be had. Kids perceive everything, feel deeply, and when adults can't shield them from the fallout of our decisions, they invent ways to ask for aid. Lily turned 10, yet her drawings still resonate with sunshine, flowers, and grinning stick figures. She no longer inquires about my secret friend. I no longer puzzle over my wife's whereabouts during book club gatherings, as there was never a genuine book club to start with. Sometimes, the most crucial parent-teacher conference you'll attend involves neither grades nor homework, but rather a child yearning for her father to understand her sorrow. If you're watching this and are a parent, keep in mind that they are always observing, always hearing, always learning. Ensure that home learning contents are something you would feel honored to discover scribbled in crayon on a teacher's desk. Thank you for tuning into Cheating Story Lab. Subscribe if you wish to listen to more narratives about how truth unexpectedly surfaces. Keep in mind, the tiniest voices can carry the mightiest truths.